This freaking day. Oh, I'm gonna suffer today, aren't I? Oh, for the love of God. What the hell was that? Okay, everything right on that side. Oh my God. Today is not the day to be streaming, I guess, because I had a power outage 30 minutes before the op. And now my router just decided, hey, let's randomly die. Oh my God. All right.
Stepping off before 9:45. Poggers.
All right. What did Karma ask before I was rudely cut off by my internet?
The question, Liru, is when we move to engage these HVIs in a hypothetical situation where they escape our force to the west, and we have to assume, their mission. He was asking what the ROE is.
Rules of engagement are try to capture. If you are unable to capture because they start shooting at you, you are free to kill them. But if you kill them, then evac their body out.
Understood, thank you.
No problem.
9, this is 8, send traffic. 4-5 total pack, so we got plenty of room.
Romeo, this is Warlord on frequency 33, requesting radio check, over.
This is Romeo 33, good check.
Lima Charlie out.
Target Falcon and target Rooster. Falcon has the red turban. Rooster has the decked out AK and the brown turban.
You can do lead stuff.
Should you need to familiarize yourselves with them, those are not necessarily our primary objective tonight. Our primary objective is to be that blocking and supporting operation for that element on the west and block any elements coming from the north. Any operator elements coming north to stop to assist Lazarus. So we are on a blocking position as a platoon tonight. All right, so let's get straight into it. Situation here, we're going to be operating once again in the Klafkan northeastern region. As we have friendly elements in the west, the terrain out there is going to be extremely mountainous, and it will be low vis, low loom. So they're going to affect our mobility and visibility quite substantially, if you guys remember from 2 weeks ago. Okay, air assets should be all right. They should be loitering at a altitude that should.
Let me just make sure these chuckleheads are in the bunker. All right, cool. Because I don't want air to spot them because they're there for debug purposes.
2 platoons within our immediate AO of the northeastern section there. In the entire region, numbers are not quite clear, but it could be somewhere within the company range. We're talking about this entire red area. We are going behind enemy lines. We do not own any of this territory aside from the friendly notional units in the west and this fob here. As far as what the enemy is, they are insurgents using the typical small arms and technicals, light vehicles that can traverse the terrain here rapidly. So look for maybe BRDMs at the heaviest, but mostly technicals. I do not expect to see any IEDs. There's been no reports of IED threats, nor indirect. Most likely course of action for tonight, the enemy is going to be trying to push a QRF along. Let me go ahead and actually just mark this.
Well, Rabbit's how they like to play.
Long route, or MSR yellow, we'll call it, toward the objective. However, we're setting up on a Y intersection, and there's also an MSR green. Okay, so MSRs are marked now, MSR yellow and MSR green. Okay, yellow is the predicted route of this QRF moving north to south towards Lazarus, and our job once again is to stop that QRF. The most dangerous course of action is our presence is detected, or upon first contact, the enemy sends an overwhelming amount of fighters from all of these surrounding positions in an attempt to envelop us and destroy us. So just keep your heads on a swivel. ISR will have our back. We'll have air stack above as well. Just know that there's a lot of fighters out here. Okay. All right. As far as friendly elements out tonight, we've got COG first platoon as well as attached snot. No mortars, but we do have a hefty air stack. Air stack tonight is comprised of 1 times Reaper, 2 times MH47s for the infill, 1 times Medevac Bird, as well as 2 times Hogs after uniform change, and 2 times Gunslingers or Apaches. So pretty hefty hardware up there in the air to watch our backs in this terrain here tonight. Okay, just know for our SA that the Apaches have a low loiter time, so it's going to be on and off as they rotate out to refuel. Any questions on the situation?
Well, the issue is the 506 already slaughtered the company's
Moving on
sized
to the
force.
mission, COG 1st Platoon is going to be
On
establishing
Wednesday.
a blocking point northeast of Objective Lazarus along Route Yellow in order to neutralize any QRF inbound from the north. Again, COG 1st Platoon is going to be establishing a blocking position northeast of Objective Lazarus with the intent to interdict any QRF inbound along Route Yellow. Commander's
We're moving
intent
that
is for
TU
us
off.
to hold back
the
the
QRF
main
out
enemy
from out of the
QRF
map.
to allow friendly forces in the west to take Objective Lazarus and capture both Target Falcon and Target Rooster. We believe Target Falcon and Target Rooster for your SA are located both at Objective Lazarus or at Objective Diamond. So just keep that in your head somewhere, okay? That's our primary task, but now you have the greater picture of what the entire friendly element is doing in this AO. End states for this mission: COG 1st Platoon is returned back to this FOB, all accounted for and with all equipment and hardware as well as personnel. Enemy forces, hopefully with the support of this second element on the west, we will have both targets captured. Tonight it is capture if
Send in
possible.
Goat
If we do have to kill the
Team 6
individual,
now.
command is asking that we recover the body, okay, so we can PID.
Hey,
Moving
Brusco.
on into the enemy
Thanks for the
states,
resub.
we expect this QRF to be
Hope you
neutralized in
enjoying
the send
everything,
state,
playing on the
as
ground
well
and
as
watching.
both targets captured or killed and back at the FOB. Civilians on target tonight. We are operating in an area that not only has a significant amount of fighters, but potentially a large amount of
Send in
civilians.
Goat Team
We are on
6
weapons
now.
tight tonight. Okay, so all individuals identified as hostile being armed tonight. Any individuals or mams that are armed, you are free to engage. There will be unarmed individuals, I assume, going to be moving about. So please PID, as we do have civilians within the region. Okay. Any question on the mission? All right, moving on to the execution. Tonight's going to be pretty on the fly here. Okay, we're going to be moving in on 2 MH47s, escorted by the Apaches along the Safford to HLZ Stars, south to north. Okay, once reaching HLZ Stars, and once again, this is a standard load order for the Apaches or for the MH47s. We will conduct a simultaneous half infill via fries on Stars. We'll hold security until the MH47s leave, and then we'll push out in formation, standard order of march with the adjustment with HQ
Look at my
behind Kilo
opinions
1-1
and
now
shout outs after the
to
brief.
the ORP. We'll establish the ORP. Leaders recon will be conducted along the tip of Hill Sarah. So all these hills are somewhat marked for RSA. But on the western side of Sarah will be the leaders recon. We'll identify and orient ourselves to the blocking position. We'll come back to the ORP, and then elements will then break. I expect an LDA crossing with the 2 elements on the west side of the map here. Okay. Task org for tonight. Kilo 1-1, you are going to be on west side security. You're going to be more or less with Kilo 1-4 at Hill Kelly. You will establish security south, oriented towards the south, with the intent to identify any potential enemies moving south to north along Route Green, as well as west flank security for the SBF. SBF will be established by Kilo 1-4 on the tentative marker. Kilo 1-2, you are assault. You are going to be located east of the kill zone, tentative kill zone marked on the red. Your intent, of course, is to destroy, sweep through, and destroy that convoy. And then Kilo 1-3, your intermediate support by fire and also secondary tasking is assault 2, should the case arise. Now, the way that we have this set up, should anything come down a different route, we will have to frago. If anything comes from Route Green, Kilo 1-4 is going to maintain SBF, and Kilo 1-3 will be assaulting through. And then if they come through west-east on route yellow, Kilo 1-3 and Kilo 1-2 will be SBF, and Kilo 1-1 you'll assault through
Warlord
the
1-8
convoy
Alpha,
or
that's
whatever
super.
it is on route yellow. One thing to note, while we are ambushing, we are
Go for
holding
Warlord.
these blocking positions. We will not be
Warlord
exfil
1-8 Alpha,
after
can I get
we
an
make the
islet in
hit
my inventory?
until higher advises us
Say again,
that
can you get an
the
ace what over?
have completed their mission or the situation changes.
I get an islet
Any
in my
questions
inventory,
on that
please.
at this
Wait for
point?
standby.
Send it.
414.
Romeo, what's your in-game name?
That was 1-8 Alpha. Romeo is Santino. 1-8 Alpha, send a ping. It's 1-8 Alpha, Shorb.
Yeah, that's their second.
1-8 Alpha, I see you, standby.
Makes sense. And then, holy shit, what is going on? What is all this
Could be
shit
a
that's right next to
secondary.
AO?
1-8 Alpha, this is Warlord. You should have it as a secondary now, over.
I guess we write a lot on the AO, so I'll shut up.
Warlord 1-8 Alpha, I do not.
Please, man, you're just one minute.
Standby.
Got it.
We're gonna do this the manual way.
Should we have to, in the case, or plan for contingency as far
Why
as
is it not
the
coming
exfil,
up? Oh, it's
or
an
pass-
IZ.
pass back,
Alright, 1 second, let me just put this in your backpack.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. There you go.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem, have fun.
Yeah, man.
Birds will come into HLZ Black, and we'll pack it in an exfil there. That's the contingency at HLZ. As far as the alternative HLZ, we're gonna probably have to identify that once we get on the ground. You guys know the terrain here is absolutely rough
Hell.
for air, so we're just gonna have to figure it out with 1-8 once we're down there. Any questions on that? Castback call tonight is gonna be crossbow again. Or excuse me, ECAS. ECAS is crossbow again. Go ahead.
For order of march to the ORP again, what is it? Just normal order?
It's not 1-1 HQ plus 1-2 1-3.
Okay.
Are we gonna dig any trenches?
No, we're not digging anything.
Copy.
Okay. Final thing to note: Kilo 1-3, you're in charge of claymores tonight. Okay. You will establish claymores on all 3 routes as contingency. Okay.
All 3 routes as contingency, right?
So I will mark those and we'll handle those. In a second here. Let me do that, and then we do this. These are all rough map reconnaissance markers. Leaders Recon will
I think you got the gist of the
more
brief.
this up. Okay.
I'm gonna go over here on the corner. Let me explain a few things. This is about a 55-person operation. The people that were screaming are people that were dying, aka they were losing connection to the server briefly, which is understandable considering all the stuff that happens in this scenario here. I've got quite a few things to do and a few things to toggle. I think flashlight should be on. If not, let me go ahead and retoggle that just in case it broke when I got disconnected on the Zeus interface. But anyway, as I wanted to say, again, a shout out to Hawkeye Ranger, Muskel, and as well as Lieutenant Dan. Thank you for the subs and resubs and conversions. I hope you all keep enjoying the operations, and I do hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. This is going to be Operation Red Wings Phase 2. The second phase was going in and grabbing Muhammad Ismail, and then in the movie Lone Survivor, they also grabbed a guy named Tarek. For this scenario, I changed up the HVIs to make them a little more distinguished. This is my Tarek. I know it doesn't match what he looks like, but yada yada. I wanted to make them a little more unique. And then Muhammad is going to be grabbing this one. Target Falcon, and wait, no, I made you target Falcon. I made you target. God, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but that doesn't matter. These are the 2 guys that are trying to be captured. If you were here Wednesday night, you saw that in the 506 operation. 506 forces landed at LZ White, assaulted OBJ Lazarus, captured Tarek, and then were flown over to Objective Diamond, cleared it out, didn't find the second target. That is because I explained he is going north into the blocking position that is then going to move down south and capture and occupy this village. This is a PvE operation. I was going to put in a PvP element in it, but I decided against it last minute because I, on average, make anywhere from 5 to 7 mission files a week. This week, I'm had to make, well, let's see, I've made 12 so far. One is on hold because I need access to certain files, and then I was given a 14th last night, and it needs to be finished by tomorrow so I can announce it to run it on Tuesday. So suffice to say, I was doubly busy than what I'm normally used to, which is a gigantic pain in the butt. So yeah, but now it's not going to be 5 to 7, it's going to be 6 to 7, because now, again, I'm doing Karmakut stuff weekly now on Saturdays, which means it's going to have more room for doing operations like these. So what I am going to be doing right now is putting some civilians down on these little mats to indicate that they are quote-unquote sleeping. I'm also going to give them a garrison. One moment. Let's see where he is. Also, today is multi-life.
If we need to walk in further, we'll
Negligent discharge. All right. I see. How is it going to be tonight? I'm going to, because I'm now used to how these guys work, I will do my best to... Okay, thought someone poked my shoulder for a second, but I think that was just me seeing things. I'm going to do my best to balance it for how they like it, and if they run into a situation where they get screwed, that's just how it is, but I'm not trying to make those situations where they're quote-unquote screwed. It's just how it happens. So in the meantime, I'm going to be setting a bunch of prone AI here and disabling their pathing. I'm also in a moment going to set up a few extra infantry and techies to come out of houses and go set up patrols and whatnot, and we'll go from there essentially. Now, I hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday night. I'm going to do this op, and then I'm going to take a small break, set up for the massive 220-player PvP operation that's going to go down tomorrow. And then I'm going to get back on and stream some Dark Tide. And then maybe I'll stream the mission dev for next week as well, in at least one of the remaining mission files I have to make. And then there's a few others for next week I have to make anyway, so yay. I should also be disabling their move, actually, because when I group them up, they might path and rotate, and I want them on specific surfaces here. So I'm going to switch that out real quick. And how about, because I have all the time in the world to set that up, I'm actually going to set up a few techies to drive by. So let's go ahead and Pakistani insurgents, cars... doctrine today is, again, I'm only going to be using technical, same doctrine as I fought with the 506. But I'm going to basically be driving some stuff around. And we'll go from there. So Pakistani insurgents or Middle Eastern insurgents are going to be my main forces for this, and then I want to toggle their flashlights on. I'm also in the process, with Karmakut's permission, of ripping out this flashlight ability here. See how they're much better. I will have that hopefully ripped in a week or two. It just is going to require some research on everything, which is a-okay. I'm adding some vehicles here just as, you know, standard what-ifs here, but looks like they are fully mounted in their birds here.
So there's going to be 2 calls. There's going to be a ropes.
But they're going to be doing a fries insursion, which means they're going to basically be lassoing out, and they'll have to be under them just to make sure that, like the last mission, the ropes won't be too low and they won't, you know, accidentally hit themselves. But I'm also going to set up a fire team patrol. Okay. We're going to toggle their flashlights on. And I can't really do anything in terms of formation, but I am going to basically walk these guys down. Also, It's really dark right now. I just have my Zeus flashlight on to make things look a bit better. But, you know, leave it to me to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench. They're being escorted by Apache, so this will give them a little bit extra. You got to remember, though, Karmakut's boys like to play, you know, as if this was a real scenario where they're fighting very unfair. They have every sort of superiority asset in play. My job is to still keep them on their toes where it matters, like the breaches. If anyone remembers 2 ops ago where we had a single RPK gunner gun down like 8 of them in a aircraft hangar breach. And then the previous op actually wasn't that bad. I did hit their extract helicopter, though, and almost make a real Operation Red Wings by almost taking that bird down. So you can't say I'm not trying to be difficult here, but, you know, I am doing my best. But anyway, I can't say how they're going to do in this operation because of how everything is set, it could really go either way. They could get annihilated by something, or, you know, something else could smack them. It's honestly impossible to call. And yes, I know these are African Islamic random civilians, but that's kind of the best I have here, so I just got to work with it. Besides, they're going to be with NVGs on, and the lights are going to be out, because this is what the building actually looks like, so it's not like they're really going to be able to tell. I'm going to put another 7 or 8 civvies around. Let's see how things go. We're not going to have any anti-air in this scenario, though I have been told by the pilots they do appreciate it when I actually try to put a few things down to eliminate them, so you might see me put an additional mobile ZU or 2. And I did make sure to tell Karma that the AAA capability of the enemy is technically unknown, but it is possible that there, you know, could be additional AAA threats that they just don't know about. And that is because Air, or at least someone in Air, has told me to keep them on their toes, and I intend to keep my word on that because, you know me, I always like to make sure everyone has a good time. Let's have a check on the map real quick, because I'm juggling everything. Air has taken off. They're being escorted by an Apache, and that's 2 MH-47 helicopters there.
Send in Goat Team 6. No.
My 4-man patrol probably... Wow. Did you drive off a ditch? No? What? That's amazing. Okay, they're gonna path back to that car. I just find it really funny that they did that. I'm also worried that that Dishka's gonna run over the infantry down here, but... You know, c'est la vie. People are very, very funny. Otherwise, Rai-Chen, thanks for the 3-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I do hope you get a nice kick out of this collab op. Now... I do want to say it's been really fun the past 2 weeks. Everything that's been kind of growing in the whole Armaverse, so to speak. Some stuff is in the topic of I can't confirm or deny, but other stuff like this, it's just really fun that I'm doing all this collab work with a bunch of people. And there's more of it to come across various things that I would say are also on the level of, if anyone recalls, Splendid Squad. Not like it, though. That's its own thing, but my point is there's just a lot of other collab work that's going to be coming, so I'm very excited to work with all of that. But based off of how Karma's been enjoying these scenarios and this player base has been enjoying these scenarios, I think this is going to be a very long partnership, similar to what I do with the 506, for example, which, in my opinion, is great. Now, let's make sure that this stuff doesn't run each other over, because otherwise that's going to be really, really awkward, and then I'll get a shot of the helicopters going in. But I, as a Zeus, need to make sure that the AI don't eat each other. And you're stopping on the same side of the road, the AI, which makes me a little cautious, but... Cool. Cool. Otherwise, he would have run over the other 2 AI, and, well, that would have been funny for Air to witness, but... Oh, well. And you got the Apache loitering behind. then they got a drone up in the air too. I'm going to be doing most of this AO from the lighting here, but I'll occasionally switch to NVGs because that is pretty fun. I'm going to pull this guy a little to the right just so I can free up that road, and I will eventually be throwing some techies down as well. So we'll see how all of that goes. But to all of you that are showing up on my channel because of Karmakut, welcome. I hope you enjoy the Zeus interface. But again, for all of you that are new, to state my job as a Zeus, because I, whenever I do collabs, like to put this out here for the new people. My job isn't to kill anyone specifically unless they're doing something really, really dumb. Then I can kill them. However, 95% of the time, players generally do what they're supposed to be doing. So, my job is to give them something balanced and enjoyable. Like a Dungeon Master in D&D. Okay, I forgot the B in these guys is, their mod set is also a night vision toggle. So, please do not ask me to incessantly spam things, drop nukes, drop goats, yada-da, because that's, not in my job description. I'm just here to make sure everyone has fun. But I will, of course, highlight any moments where the player base gets annihilated because they're good points to go over in debrief, and it's also kind of funny to watch a single RPK guy gun down 9 people. Why? Because it's still a video game, but, you know, we can root for the AI here and there. Alright, so this vehicle is going to be a bit late and actually might intercept the convoy coming in. I'm a little worried about the infantry, so I'm actually going to move them off-road a little bit. And I'm actually going to aggro them because they should hear that helicopter at this point. So I'm going to have them hug up here. But it looks like they're actually doing a drop point over on this side instead. I always do enjoy watching things like that because it's rare when you can see something like that. 55 people getting out of a set of 2 MH47, so I like to give it a bit of screen time. But the sound of the distant helos is going to be a little bit of a cause for concern for my Op4 element here. We're going to go check it out. Could just be a chopper flying overhead. Could be nothing. Ah, I see. My Igla has already scored a kill. If you guys let me know where my Igla is, I'd be glad to point it out to you. It is my off-the-map Igla. All right. Invisible units, 1 Apache. Cog 0. He probably got disconnected or something. Either way, I'm going to put these guys in a... Yeah, I'm going to keep them on the wedge formation. Those guys I'm going to keep in the diamond. So at this point, I'm going to have those guys go over. I'm going to remove the wreck for the sake of those other guys' immersion as they do their flyback. There are other people with access to Zeus that help on the technical perspective for the guys, so they'll go ahead and take care of that. Invisa Igla 2000 coming to a store near you. But they'll go and get that sorted. Again, we're I'll actually have these guys come up and take the high ground here. Have them go from there. The Dishka, I'm gonna call down. Can just do a quick flip on it unless I see that air is directly looking at it, but I have it parked, and now the main force is going in. So, Karmakut operations, more statistics about these guys. They usually like to go for about a 2-hour operation. That is op time of them actually being in the field, so including brief and debrief. Usually we're looking at a 3-hour window. Action-wise, they like to fight unfair, so their AOs, they actually like to fight smaller AOs or large AOs with small groups of infantry. So it's a really interesting way to balance having enough for air to shoot at and do and recon, but also getting those optimal numbers for the infantry to properly fight against. They have a very tough medical system, where if you get shot once or twice, you're pretty much out of the fight. They're also updating to Cat Medical at the moment, which is even crazier. So these guys do a very big level of immersion. And I'm going to be honest, they're probably the most immersive unit I've ever had the pleasure of working for. The only thing that comes close is a Vietnam unit I did work for, where there were about 20 people, and they actually did CASEVAC. I was able to stream a one-off for them because they commissioned me, but that was also pretty cool. And then they also have a lot of custom scripts that help them see everything. So you got their drone operator already sighting these 4 guys because we're trying to figure things out. Again, these guys are locally trying to figure out what's going on here. So my guys don't have thermal capability, but they do have flashlights. And that basically helps them see. And again, I'm in the process of, with Karma's permission, they basically have a PBO that controls that flashlight capability, and I'm trying to figure out if I can set it as a description extension, or if I have to load it in as an additional add-on, which means I can still use it for groups like the 506th. And then I can also use it for myself by just uploading it on the workshop and just setting it as a dependency for other stuff. But, you know, I would love to have those bigger things there. More than drum the 506. So 506 medical is actually very, very simple. It's literally basic medical. A 506 mission compared to a Karmakut cog mission is basically 506 usually fight a lot more infantry, a lot more vehicles because they're a lot tankier. And they go a lot more fast-paced, whereas Karmakut's mission, I would say, they would do like a chunk of a 506 mission and just do it slowly and call it a day and with like a third of the manpower. But I kind of like doing ops where it's more of a focus on quality instead of quantity of forces, because after I come through this mission, which is just basically built on an AO that I also built for the 506, the other 2 missions I have planned for these guys, you're going to see me dip back into my 2018 and 2019 roots of doing counterinsurgency coin ops for short with TSB, where they were up to, you know, 40 and 50 man operations, and I came up with some of the cheapest tactics that are completely plausible to throw at them. So you're going to be seeing some custom composition work. You're going to be seeing me put some of the like most cruel turret positioning ever, to the point air's not even going to be able to detect it. You're going to see a lot of evil Liru come back, and I'm very excited to put it because I'm not going to remote control it unless it's for ambience, but if I let the AI shoot on its own, we all know how, well, for those of you that have been here for a while, you know how effective turret AI can be at sniping players, and I'm letting the AI do the work, but that could very well happen, which is, you know, fairly messy. I'm gonna have these guys keep moving on to the edge of the map up here, because we're just trying to get the high ground to see what's going on. Now, I will also say these guys have a custom set of AI mods, so not only are they running with Lamb's AI, but they have another AI mod that really calibrates the AI, specifically their nighttime behavior. So even though I have these skill overrides I use, the AI mod they have, because I tinkered with it, override some of these features. So their AI, at least what we saw in the last mission as well, was a lot better at night because they're calibrated for the range of the flashlights that they've been given. And if they don't have that flashlight, they're pretty much blind. They will just suppress at gunshots they hear or muzzle flashes that they see. But I think you guys will be excited for what comes out. I will say by the 4th mission, I will play with a mortar. I'm a little scared to give Lamb's AI access to a mortar, though, because Lamb's AI will be very, very cruel with that mortar. And I have to make absolute sure in my testing that Lamb's AI doesn't steal it and start immediately dropping shells on players. Because otherwise, I'm not going to be able to use that mortar. Yeah, it can be very dangerous to give Lamb's AI artillery because Lamb's AI artillery has no mercy. They have absolutely no mercy. All right. His battery's out. Which, of course, some of you are going to say, oh, why don't you bring it out? And it's like, well, you know, I want to be invited back to these ops guys, so I can't just murder them all. Because then every other person's going to see that op, and I'm never going to have a job again. And I kind of rely on running these missions for a living. I'm the only person in the world that does Arma 3 Zeusing as a job. So my reputation's kind of important, you know? Just a little bit. We got this massive platoon formation. I don't really have anything else I need to do at the moment, but I can put another small car to drive by with some armed dudes. So I'm going to use a vanilla off-road this time, simply because they're a little more controllable with the AI. And then I'm going to have a full team of 6. We're going to grab Pakistan Insurgents for this one. Again, anything that has Insurgents is going to work. I'm going to throw a PKM gunner in there, though. Just making sure I'm still on net. And that's outside of the AO. And this will also help me test the forces coming in here. And I'm gonna have these guys come up to this position up here. At that point, I can stop their pathing. The cruel method of Zeusing, I wouldn't... So here's the thing. It's not the cruel method of Zeusing, it's just me being creative with the tools I have. I consider it cruel because I'm basically taking something that's super unique that I don't really see done anywhere else, and I'm throwing it at a player base that doesn't really know me. Which is why whenever I work with new groups, I'm like, how out of the box do you want me to go? Because there's something that I can whip up pretty easily for you, but, you know, depends how you want it. Players see the laser? Yeah. So night vision, any night vision can see that IR laser. And they also have mods that increase the size of their IR lasers so they can do a lasso that's a lot more realistic. But if we go into normal vision, even with my light on, I don't see that. Because it's IR, it's infrared light, which is beyond our visual spectrum. Some fun, would that be physics? I guess that would be physics, technically. Alright, these guys don't see anything, so I'm gonna fold them back. Back into that village, and I'm gonna have these guys come around and fold back up to this village. Like flying destroyers? Well, they're a realism unit, so we have to be realistic. So, you know, I take a Land Rover off-road, I put it on a hill, and then I put a an SPG-9 or a heavy machine gun in... Well, I can't put an SPG-9 because he'd kill himself with the backblast, realistically, even though turret AI wouldn't do that. But again, realism. I could put a heavy machine gun in there. I could put a scope on that heavy machine gun and turn it to a sniper rifle. And Air would never see it because on the map, it just looks like a Land Rover. Now, of course, I know they're going to watch this video back and go, oh, Liru's going to do that. So I'm not going to put one Land Rover up there. I'm going to put 5. And then one of them is going to be a truck, but with a high raised bed. And then under that high raised bed, I'm going to put another turret under there. And make sure that the dude is prone under there. So Air's not going to spot it. But Liru can still use it. Like I said, I have a lot of tricks under my sleeve. And I'm more than happy to use them for any player base that wants me to use them. I'm going to have to be handling... I'm going to do a comm check real quick. Romeo, this is Warlord on 3-3 requesting radar check, over.
Warlord, Romeo, Lutra.
Roger, was just making sure. Break. Interrogative. Can you let me know if you have any reinserts that need to be reinserted tactically so I can get that teleported set up, or break? Is there going to be another Zeus handling that tonight, over?
Copy, Warlord. Not tracking any DCs. Wait one. Warlord, Romeo. Any reinserts at this time? If they're at the base, clear for TP on our current ORP mark.
Romeo, this is Warlord. A-Firm, I just saw a disconnect, and I was just asking for the policy for this operation. I wasn't saying there were any things for TP yet. I was just, as you can see on the message on the bottom left, that's what I'm trying to track on. But as he's coming back, I'll make sure he's brought in. Over.
Solid copy. A-Firm, just on our pause at this time.
Roger. Out. Okay, yeah, so they're tracking the infantry coming back. And this is just luck of the draw of them scanning around because this other team's now coming back. I will admit, I do metagame a little bit on my Zeusing just to make sure contact reaches the enemy. But if I'm going to metagame, I make sure that there's a way for them to beat me metagaming, because otherwise that's just me kicking a dog while it's down. So either Air will hit that or they'll get some rear security. Now they're starting to put their big stuff in the AO. Alright. You ready to go?
Yep, good to go.
Alright, give me 1 second, I'll TP you in. So anyone that crashes in, I just teleport them back into wherever Romeo, which is their RTO, tells me to. Otherwise, if they die, they have to have the helicopters bring them back in. So his name was Robob.
Yes, we have C4 right next.
Now I'm going to be a bit more mean. But one thing I do want to do is make these guys walk. Because they're slowly following that noise, and they're not... Okay, if they're going to be doing that, I need to toggle their lights back on so they can run like that. Because, yeah, Liru will be mean. We're going to go check out that helicopter.
Sneak the predator in like you did to Drum.
Okay, that's because I'm allowed to do things like that to Drum, where I'm allowed to make little surprises like that. Karmakut is a full realism group. I wouldn't be able to do something like that to Karma. That would be funny as hell, though. But yeah, no, I'm moving this thing up because we've detected the helicopter and we're going to go up and try to engage it. And I will hit it with AT. That group's gonna run back. No, we can't have the zombie bunnies come in either. Okay, maybe as an April Fool's joke, but we'll have to see. I'd have to work with Karma on that and plan it in advance. Oh, God. Ah, I missed. Run. Run. Ah, I think I was just under him because he was pulling right and I could not eye that sight at all. Oh, that was funny as hell. I wish he had an RPG. Almost. Almost. So like I said, if I'm presented with an opportunity, I can smack them. But if they do the smart thing... Guys, I think we should retreat. Alright, we're gonna start pulling out a few forces here to go down and check that stuff out, and they're gonna be able to establish their blocking position. Let's go ahead, put a rifle team, or a fire team down right here, rifle team, Keck. Jesus. These guys don't even know what's hitting them at this point. I'm trying to get them to pull away, but I don't think they wanna. I'm gonna hit him with a... That dynamic target's not supported. It's fine. Yeah, so now these guys are getting hit by that Apache that tried to hit them. Yeah, they're in trouble. And I can't turn their flashlight off because they need it to see. Yeah, suppressed shots are still pretty damn loud. But I think they don't have suppressors on. Yeah, so some of them do. This is the suppressed shooting, but he does not. But no, these guys have custom mods for almost everything, so yeah, it's gonna sound quite interesting. And again, the insurgents don't really know what's going on here, but they're doing their best to make it work. I'm gonna go ahead and move my HVIs into a position outside of the map, so I can just keep track of them a little bit better. Plus, if they accidentally bomb this EU, then there's not much I can do. These guys were immediately engaged when they tried to get out of that town. That's funny as hell. And then there's some other flares being popped overhead. Good God. All right, I'm going to turn this Vic around and drive it back. and then let's see, another 10 or 15 minutes, I will start spawning about a 4 or 5 vehicle convoy and put them in. Sit rep, please. Player base is at the blocking position. They haven't established it yet. They've run into light contact and are taking it out. I almost shot an Apache down with an RPG-26, but the pilot pulled away last second. And some minor QRF from the villages nearby are being dispersed into the AO to try to check out what's going on. No problem. And again, I've tried to order these guys to pull back, but unless I do it a specific way with lambs, it doesn't always want to do that. I gotta refamiliarize myself with lands. I'll probably run a refresher course this week, just so I can get that set. These guys right here are tracking that force locally.
I'm with Dan. I'm on this year 1 mark.
Let me look at the dismount point I got for over here. I'm gonna set that right there so it's behind this rock, and then they'll walk in. That should be fine. Apache's still gunning those guys down. Yeah, from a distance you won't hear a suppressed shot, but close by you'll still hear that clicking noise, and it'll still be very sharp.
Gotcha.
Return fire, yeah. If they open up on us, return fire. Yeah.
Guys, there's no way in hell they'll see you. Those flashlights can go far, but not that damn far. It's literally mobile spotlights, but I love it. That's how a real flashlight is.
Off to our right. On sparkle. Yeah, we're gonna let 1-3 handle that. We're gonna let 1-3 handle that.
I would get
6-3.
not to try to pick those
Yes, dude, if you want
motherfuckers
to take
off.
this tree or those rocks.
So a Snot, I believe, is their drone, but you can see where the laser cuts off on my monitor. But if this was, you know, real, then that laser would be, you'd be able to see the entire length up to the bird. So again, this is basically their blocking time setup, or blocking position setup time at the moment. You, I think, are just going to route back. I don't really have anything else for you to kind of hunker in at this point. I'm just going to send him up there. He'll stay alone. I'm going to grab a squad-sized element. Yeah, supersonic ammo's still gonna make the crack. Subsonic ammo won't. I don't think shouting, "Hey, that might be unarmed," is a good idea to shout after you've already started engaging. But what do I know? Please do not overshoot your dismount. Oh, they might have been talking about this vehicle. Yes, my PK gunner. Woo! I love doing that.
Gun has disappeared.
How'd you manage that?
Head to ISBF, over. If you're already with 1-4, just stay with it.
I don't see any movement. I think we got.
Yeah, you got him. There goes the truck.
I don't know how to like not do it that way.
I think you gotta unbind one. And, I don't know, dude. Shit's weird.
I think we got him. Truck explodes. Nah, he's on con. All right. Let's have an unarmed civilian car drive by and see what happens. I normally don't trust these to drive properly, but... Yeah, I'm actually going to have them set to normal, because usually when they're aggro, they stop immediately. Just a little worried about driving him through a hostile area here, and he might get some flak. Another 8 or so minutes, I'll send the first bit of vehicle grouping down. But again, this gives them time to set up their quote-unquote blocking position. I'm just curious about sending a civvy through and seeing what they'll do. But I gotta micro him as well. I mean, you should, Hawkeye, but, you know, there's only one day in the week we do a Karmakut op, and, you know, homework is forever until you graduate out of whatever level of school you want to get out of, so what's more important? No, I'm not putting a bus in the middle of the mountains at this frickin' hour of the night. Good God. The party buses are code for a regular bus, and then a battle bus is when we arm it to the teeth. Something else I could throw at Karmakut's boys. We could do a battle bus. I mean, Air's gonna spot that from a mile away, but that would be something to, like, put in a building to have fortified. APC implies it's armored. Yeah, we armor it with goats. Right? Goats can take bullets. Christ. Bolts will work. Alright. Everything I sent has been hit. I'm just tracking this civvy, and then I'm going to have the, Here. In the meantime, I'm going to send an armed, Dishka their way. But again, I got to micro this AI. And then after I'm done with that, I'll start setting up the, I'm going to have 2 different levels of forces come through. I'm going to have one... Oh, Air just bombed the shit out of this. Have him route out of the AO. Okay, I guess not, because he just decided to drive into here and park his car instead. He might have gotten aggroed by the AI presence here. Oh, he's in a fear animation. Alright, so again, that's an example of the other AI mod they're running, because I don't think Lambs does that specifically. Alright, well, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and set up my...
Warlord Romeo Meshad.
I do that too, don't worry. Romeo, this is Warlord. Send message over.
Warlord, platoon is currently on target mark, currently taking light contact and eliminating this, waiting for secondary tasking, if any.
Romeo, this is Warlord. A firm break. Other friendly forces operating in the AO are currently working on their objectives. Will advise if your objectives change. Over.
Solid copy.
Oh. Guys, the magical beep beeposaurus just hit us. You should probably get out of there. There's 2 A10s in the field. Good God. So at about the time this blocking position's being done, I'd say OBJ Lazarus is in the process of getting attacked. The attack hasn't happened yet, though. Woo! Yeah, they're straight up not having a good time. Hawkeye, for the area I live in, first off, it depends on what the weapon is chambered in, but if we're taking it on face value, what weapon you would take in a Apocalypse would just basically be based on the availability of the weapon's ammo. For my situation, believe it or not, the Mosin Nagant would probably be the best choice, because it's going to be much easier to find 7.62x5.4R cartridges of ammo compared to, what, 303 that the Lee Enfield is chambered in, or the Kar 98's, you know, Mauser 792. Now, they're probably, if they're replicas made for today, they're probably rechambered in calibers that are closer to 7.62x51, but it depends. Well, that's what I would do in the quote-unquote zombie apocalypse. Group them up to the lead element there. Hopefully they'll run. Yep, there we go. 5.56 green tips all day, yeah. Oh, God. I love how there's a delay even of the sound hitting me to mimic the damn sound waves. Yeah, so I think those guys are a recon force. Have these guys go up on the hill after that get out point.
Let's give them a warm welcome, shall we?
Net call, initiate.
That thing instantly exploded! Jesus Christ! I just hear Karmakut's voice. I hear net call initiate. You know, I get a little giddy imagining the amount of power you can hold by just saying 3 or 4 words. They just claymored that. I'm gonna send one more wave, have it dismount in the town above, and then I'm going to clear them on going down. I need closed transports for this.
حاضرم. آماده دستورم. دریافت شد. شنیدم. دارم میام. شنیدم. انجام میدم. آماده. منتظرم. منتظرم.
All right, microing things from a few different areas here.
دریافت شد. انجام میدم. دارم میام. دریافت شد. دارم میام.
Let's clean up. And let's be incredibly evil.
حاضرم. فهمیدم.
How you doing? Not too good there. And I want to say next 10 or 15 minutes after those air contacts are, or the ground contacts there are engaged, I'm going to clear them and move to the next spot. Let's go ahead, toggle our flashlights back on, and we should be good to go. Mauser style bolt action, like the Car 98, or my choice is that or the Springfield. Well, I also know in a zombie apocalypse it would be good to have a bolt action because that'll make you... It will make it impossible for you to flip on rock and roll and burn all your ammo if you get scared. So it'll help train your mind on how you need to behave in this type of situation. This guy woke back up and is immediately dead again. Yeah, I've done a lot of zombie stuff as a Zeus, but my main player bases are so bored of it that it's rare to bring it out again. I would agree, 30-06 is pretty common in the United States at least. Don't know about other places, though. I'd be careful about a mace in the zombie apocalypse, just because goring things might increase the potential for it to spread on you if you're not careful. Sword would be pretty nice, though, but I do have some units pulling out properly, which is good. I'm going to open my phone real quick because I'm blanking on the other HVI's call here. Rooster, that's it. All right. Yeah, because, you know, if you really wanted to look into the topic, this might be a little cheesy to say, but I recommend you look up a book called The Zombie Survival Guide. And I don't agree with 100% of it, but most of it is surface level and a little bit deeper of some ideas regarding how you would potentially survive. Yeah, I got that book too. It's up in my bookshelf. Actually, it's in my bookshelf at my parents' house, but
the way he's did now.
It's a good one. It has some interesting takes. And then you can take that information and formulate your own hypothesis, but... Nah, that in World War Z, the book version's really good. The movie is... but the book's pretty decent. But it really did give an accurate description of how the US military would handle the zombie apocalypse and why they would lose. And Llama's very correct here. It all it all would depend. Start pulling them out of the AO. Because they're getting annihilated. Alright, I'm going to give the call now. Romeo, this is Warlord. Message over.
Go for Romeo.
Be advised, Hurricane 1 has been called. Break. Friendly assets are currently being extracted from OBJ Lazarus with target Falcon at this time. Break. Target Rooster is still believed to be at OBJ Diamond, and as the strike team moves in on them, he could potentially flee north. Break. We are reprioritizing your position to be moved from the blocking position at LZ Black to the occupation of the village of Mandangnara. Break. Grid ref 185091, since I probably butchered the local dialect. Over.
Solid copy. Confirm on last. 185091. Town to occupy.
That is a solid copy. Over.
Romeo copies. We'll read it.
So I told Karma the full description of what we were doing. Romeo might be hearing this for the first time unless he mentioned it in the brief, but I will also take the HVI and send him in. That's going to be this guy. I'm going to go put him in my OBJ there. Because again, if you were here for the Wednesday operation, you know that a Blackhawk then moved the 506 strike team to position over there. They stormed that position, but didn't find the second guy. Well, so the first mission I did for Karma, they fought a superior force. I didn't realize that that wasn't what they wanted, though, and Doctrine won't be for that again. However, again, as I get more comfortable with his group and him with my Zeus style, I wouldn't be opposed to doing April Fool's operations or, you know, flavor of the year style scenarios where we throw something more sinister at him. Like an April Fool's joke similar to my Suez Canal Crisis op where I turned all the bunnies into zombie bunnies that absolutely annihilated the player base. Or we throw him in a zombie-style scenario. But that is going to be entirely up to him. And the only way for him to get those ideas is for you guys to tell him, and then he asks me. Because I'm not going to put pressure. I never put pressure on clients. I can give them recommendations of, well, if your player base does this really well, I could also recommend this, but it has to be within the realm of what they do. For example, I recommended the Klafgan map and an Operation Red Wing-style operation to him. And I gave him a proposal, and he said, yeah, no, that'll be really cool. Let's do it. Shoot up the AC-130 with a 130 RPG. I already tried, actually. I was able to get a 4-man team right below one of their Apaches tonight, and I almost shot the Apache down, but at the last second, he started pulling back, and since it was pitch black, I couldn't track him with the sight properly, and I think I whiffed his wing with the round there. So I tried tonight, Bleak, because I was able to. It's not like I spawned a squad under him either. It was in the AO. They heard the chopper, and I moved up to it. And I almost got the Apache with the hit, but nah, I wasn't able to connect the shot this time. Last op, though, 2 weeks ago, I did hit one of their MH-47s with an RPG and almost caused the Red Wings to happen, but best I can do is try. But again, my job isn't to kill the players. My job is to act upon the tools that are set in the AO, give the player base a good time. But I've been told by specific subgroups, hey, if XYZ happens, I can be aggressive. But it's not like I'm going to spawn something right under the helicopter and try to shoot it down with an RPG. No. I will try to run infantry in the vicinity under an aircraft if I hear it and shoot them down. because that's what they would realistically do in that situation. Air's going to chew these people up. I'm waiting for the A-10s to line up runs on these poor chuckleheads, because as soon as they start taking air strikes, I'm going to route them back. In the meantime, though, I am going to send a few smaller forces over to try to work with that group up on this route. They might be staying up there, though, to clean those guys up. But this will be my last attack wave from the north, because if I keep sending stuff from the north, they might just get pinned up here. Because they're very, they're not the quickest to maneuver. But no, I think the next thing I'm going to do after the Red Wings arc, which is another, it's this mission and then 2 more. What I might do is a Benghazi situation, except Hillary has a damn spine and she sends in the QRF platoon that she should have sent in the first place. But what I'll also do is, for that operation, I'll have some more of my players come in as guests and be the original QRF team and some of the original defenders at Benghazi. And that'll create another, you know, friendly situation. But for the next 2 ops, I do have in mind some humanitarian roleplay, some civilian roleplay, and possibly some Op 4 roleplay. But I've also been told by Karma, I think in 2 weeks now, there will be a Killcog event, and as long as I'm here, I'm going to cover it, because I know the last week of this month I'm going to be gone. But there's 2 IRs on these poor bastards. I'm waiting to hear the A-10 or something line up and hit them.
How's that look? Any thoughts on their squad leaders?
No, I think they're making a new plan to push up on that town as I push things in, but that should be interesting. Here, I can get rid of those guys. The other 3 guys from earlier routed. I'm gonna keep the burning car. I can delete some of these bodies up here. I wonder what hit those guys, because these, they're flashing that body, because I'm willing to bet on, yeah, they can still see him bright as day. But yeah, this is what one of their IR features is. They also have a hot, so these are the visions that air sees, by the way, which is much different than the standard vanilla thermal. Jesus Christ. That is everyone dead. That is actually... oh my god. Well. There goes my... there goes my QRF! Angry Cascade is angry. Let me guess. Is that body still glowing? Nope. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're still alive, here's your new prerogative. Run. After you stop being shell-shocked, just run. Air's probably still gonna put a $80,000 rocket in your face, but... Actually, those were probably guided, in which case it's a missile. Fun fact, rockets aren't guided, missiles are. That's the difference. What was that? If I were to guess, that was 1 or 2 Hellfires from their drone. There's a tight spacing because it's dark out and they want to be able to see with each other on the flashlights, and they, that happened. Thor got angry, yeah. There is no AC-130 in the air, by the way. It's 2 A-10s, an Apache... Actually, 2 Apaches. One's back at base doing triple R at the moment. And a Predator drone. Also, it's technically an AC-130. A C-130 is just the plane itself, usually used as a transport. They still nuked that guy. Of course they did. The AC-130 has the actual 3 barrels of firepower. Fun fact. But everyone's always technical with me, so I try to pass on that technicalness to all of you. So as they start breaking into the town, I'm going to radio in and say, hey, OBJ, I'm going to actually kill this thing right here. Because at this point, Lazarus has been breached when Diamond is breached. I will also call things in, but that'll have air stop hitting anything that comes out of OBJ Diamond. Because I want to give the players on the ground a fair chance to capture the guy, but air has no way of disseminating who on the ground is hostile and not, or who the HVI is. Hostile or not, if they have a gun, they're hostile. At least that's the ROE I've set for what's your rules of engagement, trying to break down the lingo for newer people. But air's not going to know from all the way up in the sky whether or not the guy is your standard Durka guy or your actual HVI that they're trying to capture, high-value informant. If he was a high-value target with a T, then air could probably smoke his ass, but... Oh, these guys have just decided to stop moving on their own. Yeah. Yeah, I would too with that, right? C equals cargo, C equals assault cargo. Yep. That's the difference. Yeah, air only sees the little targets above. I mean, if you were air and you saw this, that looks like a lot of targets down there. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, that's... Those are... Oh, no. Did you hear it? Even the AI heard it. Unfortunately. Yeah, but that's also tied to the AI mods they have. The AI can detect incoming munitions just by the whining noise. Oh. And you got to see the little blip go into, but if you heard the AI scream, everyone get down, he couldn't even finish the word. Oh, man. Yeah, lightning creates pretty loud thunderbolts. So do 500-pound bombs. For all I know, that actually didn't really look like a missile coming out. It looked more like a freaking... what is it called? Mark 82 coming in instead, but I digress. It would have to be a GBU, though, if they were laser guiding it, because Mark 82s are dummy bombs. Smart bombs are guided by laser. Dumb bombs you just drop, like in World War II. Dude got clapped. Alright, I'm going to send another truck of people to come in. I don't trust that pickup model because it already tried and it didn't do anything. We're going to do a closed UAZ. Actually, I'll do a closed URL so I can put in a little bit more. What are you doing? I think he'll be smart enough to path that. Yeah, he's moving. All right, we're good. We're at about 123. Oh no, no, please! They're just having a fun little camping trip. They're just having a fun little adventure. They're just living their best life, I promise. Staying away from UGLs because we've already learned from our first Karmakut collab the power of UGL capabilities. Well, we heard the afterburst of that. You can still see the smoke. It appears to have been quite effective. Alright, I'm not going to delete those units just yet. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes and then make the call that the other strike team is currently processing out OBJ Diamond, and then state it might be possible that units are coming out of OBJ Diamond. Oh, yeah, no, of course. A bomb would be humane. You wouldn't feel it before your little light switch in your mind went off. Before you were literally obliterated.
You want me to leave?
Foe hammer target is marked. Whenever someone says foe hammer, I think back to Halo Combat Evolved. Alright, now that they're leaving this zone, I'm going to start deleting more bodies here. We can delete that graveyard. I'll keep the smoking wrecks because they're nice. Yeah, you literally cease to exist. Nifty, go ahead and try. I'm sure if you could, the U.S. Air Force would really love to run more explosive tests on you. And, you know, I think the U.S. government would probably just want to experiment on you at that point. Immersion broken. That man isn't a puddle of mush. Yeah, go tell Karmakut to add, what's the mod? Barrow Trauma. Though Barrow Trauma, unfortunately, gets really, really laggy once you start blowing up more than 50 people on the server. But yeah, no, you would have a lot of little puddles on the ground with Barrow Trauma.
Red short haul.
Barrow Trauma is the successor mod to Bloodlust, which if you get hit by a bomb, you literally just explode in guts, and it makes a blood splatter on the ground, yeah. It's also a little more optimized than Bloodlust, but not by much. I'm gonna be honest, like past 20 or 30 people, you really don't want to run with those mods because it creates objects based on player count, and it gets very messy very quickly. Also, if you blow up bodies in certain ways, or they're next to certain textures, it infinitely loots the amount of body parts that come out, and it can get very framey. So it's good for smaller player bases, but larger ones, not so much. Lots of big splats, right? Move that wreck on the side of the road. I can delete those 2 bodies. Oh, man. At this point, I don't think there's going to be in contact till they actually get in the village. We might see air engage more stuff in the AO. What the heck is a Catervite? It's definitely some sort of faction. I just don't recognize that name. I don't know. Their mod set's pretty extensive. Chechens, gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you. be honest, I'm not going to be able to tell what he's shooting at until the rounds. Oh boy. They're going to defend only because they've detected air assets in the AO, so they don't engage air at any time. Ah, man. Alright, run out of the AO. I'm going to negate what I said originally. I'm going to wait till they actually start breaching the village, and then I'll tell them, just for the sake of pacing.
Give me squad leader center.
I think you guys are holding 360 and waiting to then push in.
Punch! No! Yozda! Davozda! پیاده شو! برو براست! حاضرم! دریافت شد!
فهمیدم. دارم میام.
Why is there all this lighting right here? That's weird. Oh, it might be trace effects from flashlights. Happened earlier. They set up a blocking position, dropped a bunch of QRF, and are now hitting to occupy this village.
انجام میدم. انجام میدم. فهمیدم. شنیدم.
Alright, I'm gonna do a call-in. Romeo, this is Warlord. Message over. Romeo, this is Warlord on frequency 33. Message over. He's probably briefing right now.
Go for Romeo.
Be advised, strike team has hit OBJ Diamond. They have no eyes on target break. I say again, they have no eyes on target Rooster. They're going to try checking the camps moving along the southern part of the AO, but it is possible he has broken and is fleeing towards the north into you. Break. Recommend you have air check fire on any and all targets moving between OBJ Diamond and your AO, especially if they're heading south to north. How copy?
Romeo copies. Additional air spotted a one-times vehicle approaching POI 002 on previous tasking town, possible HVT.
Roger. If the vehicle was heading from south to north, anywhere along the MSR around OBJ Diamond to your AO, it is likely that that has the HVI with them. Break. If not, then it is unlikely they have the package. Over.
Romeo copies last.
I'm gonna assume he outed me. So, radio comms wise, when I say over, it means I'm expecting a reply. When I say out, it means I'm terminating the conversation. We have no KIAs yet. I almost shot down an Apache. Air has been doing a lot of the grunt work tonight, but that's going to change because now infantry is going to have to do breaching, and I'm going to be evil. This infantry is eventually going to turn around. Air is going to be a little confused on being able to engage anything that comes into the AO. I am going to hold fire, so I know you won't do anything, and when you have contact, these guys will break off. and potentially rush ahead. But because he knows the terrain really well and he trains other people on the terrain, I'm going to say he knows how to move through this terrain without a flashlight. However, I am going to micro him through the trees a little bit here. Because this is our Muhammad Ismail character. Don't over and out me, Charlotte. You know how much I hate that. I used to be fine with it, and then War Games Inc. reamed it in my head how annoying that was. And Don, I hope your ferret bites your nose in your sleep, and you wake up to your nose bitten by ferrets, and you just have to deal with it for the rest of the day. Not the be advised thing, too. God damn it. 10-4, I don't mind. For those of you that are new, there was this one op where it just derailed really hard, and then every time someone sent me a message, they started the phrase with "be advised," which normally you keep reserved for important information, but everyone deemed everything important. Be advised, the meme is back. God damn it. Which negates the point of having be advised as a thing anyway. You know, there is a tiger mod. I could sneak a pet tiger in an HVI's house, and it could try to maul a Marine. Actually, I think these guys are Army, but my bad. I digress. They're crawling up here. I don't think the Tiger mod is compatible with Ace, though, so it would just insta-kill the guy. But then again, that's kind of accurate, right? Do Bloodway and I have any pets? No. I'm the dog, though, but I think that was obvious. What's the dog doing?
76 FYSA is going to turn into a platoon attack over.
Alright, these guys are eventually going to turn around. And this chucklehead appears to be... He's doing the little circle maneuvering. I noticed that in the 506 stop. Just some parts on this map where the AI just gets stuck in a pathing circle. Oh yeah, no, she did recently abduct me from a stream. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a time. Now any units I'm going to spawn in, I'm going to specifically toggle their flashlights because I want to keep my guy's flashlight off, but I will be sending additional QRF from the north, just in much smaller groups now that they're on top of the AO. And then I might ungarrison a few of these AI as the fighting starts.
So let's give him a warm welcome.
So we'll just have to see. It's his safety circle. Yes. Yeah. I think someone clipped it somewhere, but yeah, no, she wanted snuggle time. Yes, we do. That clip is also somewhere where we're playing Warcraft 3. It was Werewolf Transylvania. We were playing that game mode on Warcraft 3, and then she started smacking me with the... I think it was the werewolf dildo, too, but yeah.
If any considerations for us, if there's civilians...
Get back to work, Arma Slave. That's where it comes from.
You're gonna have to... You're gonna have to...
Shut it up. Don't have me up.
Oh, I hear her. Honey? Are you there? I can.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Or you're pretending to be a figment of my imagination again.
Real fast. Just keep sensors and keep noting stuff, okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay, alright.
Well, I'm not on any substances, so I guess you are there.
Yeah, so
She also loves to
TRP1
mess
is
with
just
my
gonna be
perception
the
of things, so
straight
she likes to pretend to be a hallucination
Alpha
from time to
and
time.
Bravo. And I believe that's just.
Oh, you're from an ultimate multi. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Alternate multiverse. It's because we watched the Spider-Man movie today. We had a bit of a date day.
Uncertain of
Let's call this TRP1. You see this?
Okay, so this building with the spotlights.
Study of those contacts.
Yeah, spotlights. TRP1.
Do you need something, Boo?
Not engaging.
I'm on you.
Okay, what do you need?
TRP right here.
Yeah, TRP1
My what?
right here. Ammo bears.
A joke?
Gotcha.
Okay, you got TRP2
Okay.
right here. Second lit building, far.
Okay.
This one?
My
Yeah.
YouTube
You
career.
see that?
TRP2.
That's a good joke.
TRP2.
Tracking.
We got TRP3 here.
TRP3.
That was
Gotcha.
wholesome as hell.
Once again,
Thank
this
you.
is references. You're still
What's
addressing
four?
stuff.
What's four?
Four's
What's
the last.
Guys, I need a
just
joke to
scoot
tell
over here.
Bloodwayne.
Scoot over.
Someone give me something
Four's
good.
this last building.
This one?
So it's
Okay, TRP4.
It's one.
Turn
it's one.
what sound bites on,
This
you
is
can
all
turn me
one
into a
right
schizo.
here. This is all two right here.
I'm still taking a
Yeah,
break
don't
from
play
that, but we'll
those
probably have it
three
come back in a
right
week
here.
or two.
It's all four right here. Okay. It's gonna get messy. So like if all else fails.
Oh yeah, I do have a
frontline
curfew
face,
now
assaults,
on
right, strobe up. Watch the
until
strobe
certain
with 50
times of
degrees
night
out.
I can do loud ops and then or
Okay,
loud
so
streams and then I'm supposed to be quiet now.
Yeah, I'm tracking.
You're on assault. 1, 2, or 1, 3. Who got more action?
Just hold close.
We didn't get a lot.
I'm not sure if she'll get that joke.
Okay, let me get 1, 3 is assault 2, 1, 2 here. Primary.
What's that? Shut up.
and litter as well as north side security. You got it.
The
1,
joke
2.
is Twitch monetization.
Good,
Yeah,
Kathy.
Twitch ad revenue is a joke.
Yeah, this is one.
Why
done
did the
right here.
cog player cross the road?
Ammo bears are gonna stay.
I'm
here.
waiting on that.
It's not. It's gonna stay.
Bloodwayne
here.
sulks from the shadows
Taking
between
7
reality.
Back with me. 7 people back with me. Okay.
Yeah, she's literally, it's very dark. She's next to some orchids
Yeah,
on
let me get
this
the assault mark.
ground floor of our house, and she's looking through our basement hole at me. And only half of her head is showing.
It's
She's
gonna be
just
rough.
staring at me.
Alright, this is 3 gun.
Just try to figure that.
What happens if you break that curfew? Will she beat you again or pull out the duct tape? Probably both.
Kilo 1-1 take the south. Kilo 1-3 take the north. Okay.
Oh,
1-2. You're gonna have to probably follow in a.
honey, what's the coldest kind of food?
Because it's hot.
Coldest kind of fast
so
food.
I'm gonna frago that. Yeah, I want you follow and assume behind
Yeah.
the assault squad. Okay.
A burger.
It's not. I need you north side security.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, right?
Watching this road if you can. Okay. You see this
You're
road?
saying boo.
Okay.
Boo, Wendy, Mr. Burger,
All right.
boo. We call it the basement hole, yeah, because there's this massive.
Yeah.
It's a massive opening, and she likes to throw
LCC,
things at me from it.
I think LCC right is gonna be right here.
And that's,
What happens if you? Oh wait, no, I read that one. Are you in the prison?
No.
To some people, prison is just one word, but to others, it's a full sentence.
Sensors to establish whether or not those include the HVI.
She likes that one.
And this is 3. This is 3.
No,
This
I
is 3.
don't, but I'm
This-
also focusing on the
up-
stream.
Up the hill, the 2-story. You see it?
Oh, this is 3, then this is
Ah.
4, so then
Correct.
this is 2.
Yeah, all this in the center
And,
is 2.
This is okay.
Did you hear about the scarecrow that got a lifetime achievement award? They say he was out. Oh, chat moved. They say he was outstanding in his field.
There's a disc on the roof.
Just make sure you guys
Okay, all good.
knowledge of the
Yeah, it's marked.
TRPs, and you can walk your gunners on
6
to
is
get
8.
up
Hey, last
Okay.
thing.
Oh, yeah,
Last
yeah,
thing.
it's
On
Hog,
LCC, 1-3 is gonna lead to
So
LCC,
we got a
followed by
control
1.
Bad jokes are my specialty. This is the full Milsim, yeah.
Big
55, okay?
interviews are
What do they call? Wait, what do you call a Frenchman wearing flip-flops?
Exit the village area.
53, 52, 51,
Philippe
50
Philop.
south, north to south first, okay? And then we'll have the assault lines established.
During
She's laughing at that
Hatchmark
one.
15 north of the village. Pushed by
Philippe
Delta's
Philop.
copy.
Yeah, she's cracking at that one.
Yeah, you're gonna push into their side of phase line alpha.
Two-man contacts.
Okay.
193,
Alright. Okay.
Did you know some people consider the difference between ravens and crows only to be a matter of a opinion?
Go ahead and find
You have to know what
the
opinion
location
is,
of your
though.
guns now, and be
I
ready
think
to-
so.
I might.
Okay, awesome. Just,
I have to stop now, though, because it looks like they just finished their planning, and now they're actually going to do their attack. She thanks everyone for the jokes. A dwarf who was also psychic recently escaped from prison. The news reported that there was a small medium at large. She laughed out loud for that one. That's a pretty good one. Yes, honey, it was a small medium at large. I hope you heard her laughing from that one. Why have you chucklehead stopped? Come on. You heard her. Good enough. Good enough. All right, these guys will make their platoon attack. I've got... Wow, he's actually going to enter the village before they even attack. That's the case. You guys are going to go... Why did your pathing break? Come on, buddy. Move.
Send in Goat Team 6 now.
Alright, good.
Back me down.
Total guy, thanks for giving Lord Commissar Cat a sub. Hope you all keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of the scenario. Also, Commissar Cat, you might have seen Valkyrie in the chat earlier. I have them commissioned to make some 40k maps. Not maps, but, you know, mission files in maps. And they got back to me yesterday. And I'm going to be reviewing that mission file tonight and then scheduling something with you for next Black Templar operation. And then I'm going to immediately crack the whip and make Valkyrie make another one. Yes. I have decided to enslave Valkyrie for mission making because she's very good at it. But yeah, no, we have it scheduled right now for every 2.5 weeks we do a large 50 to 60 player Black Templar op. That might go as quick as 1.5 weeks now that I have Valkyrie slaving away, so we'll see. Depends on how quickly Valkyrie and I can work on stuff, but I needed to commission Valkyrie to do it, especially for this week, because otherwise I would have had 15 mission files to make, and I have to draw a line somewhere. Plus, the 40k mission files take a very, very long time. Did I lock her in the basement next to my office? No. I had to bribe her with... How the hell do I even word this? Valkyrie's in the same roleplay group I'm in for a Warhammer 40k group that's turned into a Dune group, and I made a promise that we would do something with her character arc that I'm now going to try to convince the rest of the party to do. That involves genetic splicing and all this other stuff. Oh no, shush, 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 yeah. Look, I take bribes, okay? Cage, earlier in chat, bribed me $5 to put a sniper slot in the Tuesday op for the test run for Necrophage, which is going to be an SCP op. So I take bribes, alright? As long as they don't harm anything, I take bribes. Now, if someone bribes me $50 to kill a certain player, I'm going to say no unless it's a pay for pain, in which case I also need their consent, but I take bribes. Now, if someone gives me a bribe and specifically tells me not to say anything or stream it or record it, then I won't tell you guys, because that's happened plenty of times in the past, but if it's something harmless. I have to advertise I take bribes to get more bribes, guys, okay? I have a roof over my head. I have a hungry bloodwing that we have to feed jokes and Chick-fil-A. That woman destroys Chick-fil-A. I made her a week ago her favorite meal, homemade chicken nuggies. I made her 3 thighs, chicken thighs worth of chicken nuggies. And I literally got into a 10-minute conversation about chess with her. I then looked at the plate and they were all gone. There was like 40 nuggets on it. And she ate them all. And I just blinked and I looked at her, and then she looked at it and she's like, well, you can finish these steak fries that I also made out of, I think only a single potato, but she annihilated them, and all of the homemade honey mustard sauce I made was also gone. That woman will destroy chicken nuggies. Now, I wasn't too mad because the first batch of 10 nuggies I cooked, I ended up eating myself because the oil wasn't hot enough, so they were a very anemic white color when they came out. They were cooked perfectly, but they weren't, you know, presentable, so I just ate them. So I wasn't, you know, going to starve for it, but the remaining 3 batches I cooked for 40 nuggies, they were golden. Did I make the nuggets from scratch? Yes. And that was Air dropping a bomb. So I'm going to have my HVT surrender in there. Air is dropping that bomb, and we're going to have this AO go down. I'm going to have a little bit more QRF come in, and then we're... That was some weird noises upstairs. Okay.
Pause that up.
I'm going to send the 4-man team down here, and then maybe something from the road, and that's going to be it. But yeah, no, I was in culinary school for 2 years, so a lot of the stuff I make from scratch, or I make from scratch. I usually try not to get pre-made stuff unless I'm really having a random craving for mozzarella sticks. But even then, mozzarella sticks are super easy. You just buy a pack of mozzarella cheese string sticks, and then you double bread them in a batter, and then you fry them twice. It's just, usually I like to fry it with other stuff because that's a lot of fry oil just to use for mozzarella sticks, but I digress. But no, there's my own Discord. I post photos of what I make, and then there's a few other Discords that have food sections that I occasionally go in there once a month and I just drop a bunch of images. The other night we had, over the past week, we made udon out of leftovers from a hot pot where we had another couple over and we hosted. I think some people are going to bed early, which is why they're leaving, which is fine because this is running over a little bit. They spent a lot more time doing another brief to do the operation than I thought, so that cut into our time. Did she even taste them or did she inhale them? She will inhale them. Homemade honey mustard isn't too bad. It's literally just mayonnaise, mustard, a little bit of lemon juice, and honey. But what's nice is I can basically choose which honey I use, and I usually use the same honey I use for my meat, which is an orange honey, actually. And then I just paired that with a bit of... I couldn't find the Dijon, so I just used French vanilla. Yes, Boo? A silver... Is that what I heard upstairs? So Bloodwind was watching TV upstairs. I heard a commotion, and I was like, what the heck is that? And she just came downstairs and told me that she just killed a silverfish that crawled up her leg with the Amazon Fire Stick, which is a remote for TV. And now she can't find the body of it, so she's going to vacuum the floor. She hates bugs. She especially hates it when they touch her. Oh, Air, please, no. Those are your boys. Air, please. And she just eeped again. Oh, dear. So the really weird thing is I have this big group of QRF over here, which is, it's pretty much double the AI count in this village, which I wasn't planning for. So I'm going to have them come up over here and try to get out of the town because for the past few missions, Karma's stressed to me that he wants a little bit less AI in his AOs. And that's tough to do when Air decides not to engage certain targets, but I get why they didn't engage it here. But I gave Air the opportunity over here to engage them, and they didn't. And that was before I gave them the ROE of don't engage units coming in, but he's already gotten into here, so it's fine. But this is just where we've ended up at this point. Do they bug her? Shut up, Don. God damn it. Oh yeah, we have spiders coming all the time.
I think he's the guy we're trying to look for.
A little bit like dead center on my lays.
There?
Let's see. So the red turban... He does look similar to the other HVI, but he's already been grabbed because I called Hurricane 1, which meant that the first HVT, or HVI, excuse me, was secured. So it's going to allow air to do some very close air support. And then the infantry can sweep the rest. This is nice. No, they opted to let air ground just shred the hell out of them. That's gonna wake everyone up. See where that tree line's coming up on. Also got these guys shooting down at him. Did they bring enough guns to plant on the Sims?
Working second floor 55.
Oh shit!
Try and crack this window.
So they called a bad frag. He came down and actually jumped him. Oh, that's dirty. I love my AI, man. I'm just watching to make sure the AI aren't clipping into any specific structures or anything. So as they continue their breach, I'll send more stuff out. This could get dangerous. But these guys are watching right side security, so...
Oh.
it's an RPG-7. Oh, he got me before I could pull the trigger. How are these guys doing? Bro, it's pitch black. This guy can't even see shit. Ooh. Maybe by your standards, Big Club. From what I will say, on the outside, these ops are going to look fairly easy for any player base, but they play with a very heightened difficulty of if one person gets shot, they're going to possibly just insta-die. And those ops are incredibly difficult to balance. But we've seen a few events of, they don't take care of one specific unit in one specific corner and he kills like 8 or 9 dudes, so it's a matter of limited perspective. I tried to get these guys up here to flank, didn't really work. Looks like air shredded those guys coming up. And then these guys don't even want to go down at this point. I'm trying to send them in, but I think they got stuck on the mountaintop. I'll be... They hit me with the GL. Oh, yeah, no, I agree. For the, for this, it's a horror movie for the insurgents.
Right here. We're gonna have to go around.
Op's gonna be wrapping up soon. Tower Launch's gonna take them to finish sweeping this town. They're gonna find the HVI back there. I don't really have anything else I can send. I could actually break down these camps. And then that's literally the rest that I can send in. But I budgeted 2 hours, but I didn't realize the time they would spend making the brief to actually assault this town and whatnot. So now that I know, I can accommodate that for future ops. But I probably just need to shrink the AO size down a bit more, but that should be fine. Again, we're always learning. One life? That's a good question. Oh, this one is one life. Okay. Damn. I don't see him back at base. I didn't see him die. Yeah, so this was a one-life operation.
Clear.
Yeah, so they're still suppressing that area. I'm gonna pull this guy back because his gun's sticking through that area. I don't think he died, because I don't see him back at base. I don't see anyone that spawned. Oh. There he is. So he was on Overwatch.
One, two, 1, 6.
Maybe 2.
There's his body bag. Yeah, he... Damn. I don't know how he died. But the fact they're pulling him from over here means he might have gotten hit during the initial exchange and no one noticed. So no one administered medical and he could have just bled out. But it goes to show you, people still do die in these ops when I don't even think they are. It happens. Because I know this body bag was from someone disconnecting. Because they were just on movement. There wasn't any contacts going on or anything. But that's... Damn. I'll have to wait around in the OCAP, and while they're going through the OCAP, I'll be setting up for tomorrow's PvP streaming, and then I'll come back with some Dark Tide streaming.
When they go down over. Yep. Stairs is pinned. Work the right.
This is a horror movie for the insurgents. Good God.
Rooftop clear. Two six clear and secure.
We're currently holding 48 right now, so we're waiting for you to clear 47.
Hit them.
Guys on flashlights really far west. I don't know. I'm good. I'm fine.
Let's get one more. It's the middle lane. The one side.
Stairwell, holding.
Checking these guys.
I got one guy in the leg. Yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah. I'll give you guys a little bit of PvP with my bolt action, but again, I'm not trying to actually aim and hit them. They just.
Bad bang, bang, bang.
Do it again.
Alright.
They're live.
So I nailed one of these guys in the leg, but they should be fine. And top story.
Tossing a frag up there.
Yep.
Bad frag.
Oh, careful about crossing each other's lines, guys. This shows me they don't know where the shots are coming from. The guy's got one hell of a keyhole right here, though. What they think is coming from that building, they just hurt himself with that GL. He's literally shooting above. So I don't think these guys are getting hit. I think they're just taking damage from the shrapnel hitting themselves, in all honesty. That's wild. Ah, they just keyholed him. Oh no, the civvy! The civvy!
Stairwell up, doorway in.
Casualties of war. You still hear those 9-9s going off. Which is why you generally don't want to be fragging, because again, the HVI could be here. So I really hope the HVI over here doesn't get fragged, but it could happen. Yeah, now they need to plant the gun. I think this guy just got dropped and knocked on con. Yep. Oh, I didn't need to hear that. Yeah, Jonah, we're just kind of wrapping it up right now, unfortunately. There's been, I think, 1 KIA. Thankfully, only one. I'm going to send a few more runners down.
آمادم. آماده. انجام میدم. دریافت شد. دارم میام. دریافت شد. شنیدم.
Ah, damn it, that guy died. I was going to RC him and try to cover the HV2. That's okay. I think they're shooting at, yep, targets trickling in. So again, I'm giving air, making sure air is staying vigilant here as my camps are breaking down and heading down as well. Just some of the AI are getting stuck up here. I don't think there's any armed contenders left in this village, but they're going to still painstakingly breach and clear everything. Ripperoni Civ, yeah, right? It happens. Guy was napping.
Staying up here.
They're still
Actually
stuck.
fragging.
Yeah, checking that guy. Everything gets uploaded on the VOD channel. The main channel, not sure, because YouTube is very finicky with my uploads for some silly reason. I don't really have much else I can send their way. In all honesty, I could throw a techie at him from the north. Because I'm a cruel and violent Zeus.
منتظرم. دریافت شد. دارم میام.
I switched the HVTs between the Wednesday and the Thursday op or the Wednesday and today's op, just to give them slightly better identification gear.
Check that other body.
Because these guys can look at things from air, and I wanted to make sure air had a little bit of a better way to see things, but tough to say.
Roughly 400 meters out, pushing towards our location.
I think air detected the A10.
No shoot inside. He's armed.
Hey, he's got an AK.
That's our guy.
He's got an AK.
That's our boy.
That's our boy. That's our boy.
Yep.
Can I get a flash?
Stepping back. I got it.
Peace, bro.
We're sending it.
Alright, they're gonna get him. They bad flash though.
Left side clear.
This is him. Yep, this is him. This is him.
Oh, jackpot. Building 11.
Disarm that fuck.
I'm not gonna say exactly how he worded that one, but that was
Warlord,
creative.
Romeo, message.
Romeo, this is Warlord. Send message over.
This is Romeo, jackpot on call sign Rooster in the town of Mangalara.
Roger, proceed to extract him. Break. You can also extract yourself. I will let other friendly forces in the AO know. Hell of a fine job done today. Over.
Romeo, copies out.
Crawl for your life!
فهمیدم. دارم میام. دارم میام.
Oh, they mark this poor vehicle.
فهمیدم. دریافت شد. دریافت شد. دارم میام.
I don't want to have to manually drive them, please. Please, Diagro. You monster. I don't want to be the poor SOB that's going da-da-da, and then gets blown away. Crawl of freedom, little man. You can do it. Just stay away from the bad people. I mean, if anything, I'm not mad about the civilian casualty. I'm more mad that they knew the HVT or HVI, excuse me, could be in here, and they decided to frag the building instead of flashing like everyone else. Because that, you know, what if the HVI was in that building and you blow up the HVI instead? Which again, bad call to make. It happens, but you know, it's also a judgment call, and in the heat of the moment, things happen.
That's fine. Then you can
But if I were to pick apart that
Give me a
situation,
tripod.
that's what I would focus on.
1116. You have eyes on the MSR South.
Yes, the HMG is coming.
Hey, Goons, you know if that guy that 1600 meter.
No, he's not.
He's not.
And his body disappeared, so I already told Dark
I
to
said, do
body
you
bag him,
have
but he couldn't.
eyes on the MSR
Roger.
South over?
So you're all at 10 now? No, 11.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I know. Usually this is like a.
All right, Roger.
It's
reposition
planned for a
yourself
2 to
into
2.5 hour time slot. So again, people were DCing at the 2 hour mark and the 2.5 hour mark because you know, brief eats up on the 2 hour time. The planning in between ate up on the 2 hour time. Oh God. Run. Run. Hey, you exploded. Okay. Hawk. You asked me a question that your professor asked, right? I gave you an expert opinion, all right? You just have to use that expert opinion in your homework because clearly Don't tell me your homework was like math related, in which case you can't use expert opinions or expert testimony. But I'm sure. What was the homework, buddy? We can make it work.
He was all over the place. What do I have left here? Green and red.
You said you gave him blood?
I'm gonna be honest.
Not blood, saline, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Based on what's in the AO, I think they just they either used an AGM from the drone or from one of the AH-64s to kill that thing. The artificial's quite present. The intelligence is quite lacking.
We'll push sensors.
The AI did their best. This is pretty much how dirt farmers fighting the most powerful military in the world would work. Unfortunately.
You're good to give him another bag, by the way.
And then snot. 1 1 1 3 snot.
1 1 3. 1 1 and 1 3. So
Alright, let's
green
go.
hit 1 1 and red you are now with 1 3.
Because his BP's kind of low.
You guys are
So if he gets shot,
So they're doing
he's probably
medical
going down
on
for
this
a
guy.
while.
Let me see where 1-3 is.
I'm gonna give him another saline.
Yeah, come here.
Yep.
Over here.
When he's
Stand
done
by.
with
He
that
said he's
bag,
medical attention. It's one of these.
yeah, when he's done with that bag, check his breath and
HQ,
tell
we're
me
gonna come off the hill.
if it's
Snot's gonna be
okay
the
or
only
if it's
element up here in a
fruity.
sec. Snot 6, you and the attached gun are gonna be the only element up here in a minute. Over.
If it's fruity, then it means I need to start probably getting him blood. We'll see how it works out.
Roger. 1416 class guns.
I'd rather you not lose another gun.
Yeah, stand by. We're getting medical
So we'll pull the
attention.
blood if we-
Oh! Oh, okay. I thought they were shooting at each other. No, they're shooting at the 3 poor SOBs up here. Okay. Hey, Drum, how you doing? This poor man can't even see what's shooting at him. Is the other guy alive? I think he's knocked out. Yeah. Buddy, I'd give you an order to run like the other dude, but I don't think you're gonna make it. YR's on you now. Yeah. But Drum, these are the guys that are running the other half of that mission in the AO, fun fact. Yeah, those were his last words. Anyway. I saw where they were pointing. I thought they were pointing more right. I was about to go, oh god, please tell me there's not a blue on blue. Was convinced for a good few seconds there. Oh, they have an orbital cannon. Yeah. 2 A-10s, a Reaper, and 2 AH-64s. How you doing, broski?
You see it? Keep it up, over.
Outside of them.
Where's the HVT? It's over here. Okay.
Fair.
I'm past. Hey, we're your gun team.
The other dude.
My Alpha and Bravo are between
Where's
these
18?
two buildings,
Is
so
it
if you
this?
right here.
One building right here.
He's up in this one right here.
Right here.
Yeah, if you guys want to hang out right in between these
8-6,
buildings.
What does sensor see?
How's that?
Wherever you best see fit to set up the gun.
Where's 18? This left one?
Yeah, that's a great question, Big.
Hey, come over here and put the lasso from this side. I couldn't see it from the other side. Lasso the other side of the building. Stand. Alright, before we all up, we're down 1, correct?
They're in 19.
Okay.
This is 18. We'll bring them this way.
Hey, stupid. Check this out. You ready?
100% worth it. Oh, of course. If you have the firepower at your disposal, why not use it? All right, so at this point, I think they're pulling 360. I'm trying to have more infantry trickle down. I already tried sending a gun car. That got annihilated. Sent other things from camps. They got annihilated. I'm only having one guy pull out at the moment. I will say, I got a fair bit of guys. I want to say out of the 100% I send in, I think at least 10% I was able to pull back. A handful over here. A good chunk over here. So, That's all fine. And there was only one KIA, so not bad. Oh, no. Well, I was trying to send QRF up, but one of the 5 air assets spotted it. Oh, boy. There were 2 assignments I helped you with the first. Nice. But yeah, I know people are going to be DCing because it's, we're at 2.5 hours for streaming. But again, what really bogged the time down was that second brief, which I get. But again, eye-opener for me of if we're going to be doing large things like that, I need to accommodate for that. Smaller village would have also helped cut the time down. But yeah, we'll be back in, I want to say, an hour or so for the, for Dark Tide streaming. About Henry Lever actions. Nice. And then tomorrow we have a 220 player PvP op. That's going to be the WOG community and the Solid Games community going at it. I'm going to be covering both rounds of 2-hour PvP. That's going to be 11 to 5, and at 5 o'clock we have the Warhammer Fantasy Checkpoint RP. I'll be playing as an actor, and that'll go for a few hours as well. So big Sunday stream day. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays are all going to have Zeus ops. Oh, boy.
Go white light. Wait, why am I? Yeah, higher. Okay. It's so fucking dark tonight. Okay, all good. Prep for X call. We'll hit that. We're going to hold secure until the birds are closer. Once they get like a 5-minute call, we'll call it on into PZ and prep for exfil, and then the birds will land. Once again, sequential. First PZ 1112 out. Second PZ snot 1314. Okay?
Roger.
Okay, do I have an 8 here? Okay. Go ahead and disseminate, hold security. I'll let you know on prep for exfil.
Everyone breaks down prep. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone breaks down on prep.
Okay.
So, Dark Tide will be done whenever their OCAP finishes. Let's say they're going to spend another 10 minutes getting to exfil, another 10 minutes exfilling, 10 minutes doing our first debrief, and then once I get off the server, I will be downloading mods for tomorrow's PvP scenario, and then following the OCAP, and then, yeah, probably by 12:45 I'll be doing Dark Tide, but I have to be quiet because that's the new curfew, and if I don't be quiet, then Bloodwind will come down and beat me with a Dragon Dildo. What are we playing Warhammer Fantasy on? It's an Arma 3 checkpoint RP, but with players that are actually seasoned in a 40k unit, so they know how to play Warhammer RP properly. Don't say you didn't enjoy it. Oh, I enjoyed this immensely. There hasn't been a Zeus op in a while that I haven't enjoyed. I guess the only thing that's come close was the first Black Templar op I Zeus, but that wasn't not enjoying it. That was me being stressed in a healthy way that I haven't really been stressed at before, where the player base was killing things quicker than I could spawn them and put them in a reasonable fashion, but people in that unit tell me that's one of the best ops they've ever played. So it was a win for everyone there. But no, nowadays, there have been ops in the past that I didn't enjoy Zeusing, but nowadays I'm seasoned enough to know when not to Zeus for certain scenarios or communities that are tied to things that I particularly won't enjoy. What do I need to Zeus myself? The trust of a player base, the knowledge of how the player base operates, and an honest plea by them to give you a chance to Zeus in the first place. And as long as your player base has fun, you're doing your job right. And as long as you're taking feedback and a debrief from people to know where you can tune the next op so it's better from them, you're also doing your job right, regardless of what type of community it is. That's my 2 cents. But yeah, for Dark Tide tonight, I'm going to probably run... there's a few different things I can do. I can either try to optimize my Psyker, or I can get into my Veteran and try to optimize his build with something. We'll see. I'll let you know, Valk, but we're going to be running exclusively Damnation So if you can rock it, feel free, but Dante's elitist. Well, so am I technically. So I think they're sending the AH-64s back. No, they sent one of them back to get the 2 pilots out to get the 2 AH-64s, and now they're taking off with them back at the airbase. I'll probably watch this airstrike happen, and then I'll cut the recording, but I'll keep the stream going just for the debrief, because I know there's a few of you from the unit that want to keep watching. Do communities commission you to Zeus for them? All the time. That's worked out through my DMs. And I'm not opposed to Zeusing anything at this point. If I perceive any risk based off of what Twitch might find offensive, then I'll just say I won't stream it, but I'll record it. But stuff like that's worked on a case-by-case basis. Yeah, those are AI, and Air is probably going to bomb them with the Predator drone in a second. I was hoping to maybe hit the flank up here with another, because I did that with a few guys over here, but yeah, that wasn't done. I think the only major thing from my end is I almost shot down an AH-64 with an RPG-26, but he pulled away last second, and I whiffed the shot, and it was within, I want to say, 2 meters of him.
Let's get
Which
him a
was
warm
fun.
welcome, shall
That
we?
was a funny way to start this scenario, but didn't get much else done. I think he's a disconnect. You think Karma will let you in on some KillCog content? Yes, so I am talking with him on that. He tells me the next one's going to be in a few weeks, and I am going to be allowed to spectate it. I just have to make sure it's I'm here for it, because the last week of this month I will be gone on a hunting trip. But if I'm here for it, I am definitely making sure that I find the time to do it, because it's I love PvP match commentary, and I'd love to see these guys in a massive 250 tops player scenario. Or it might be 150. I forget the numbers. It's a bunch of player insurgents and then about 50 guys on the ground and some air assets. But no, on the top of commissions, just DM me. Last month I had 5 commission jobs. And I think 2 of them weren't streamed and 3 of them were. But then sometimes my commission jobs grow into full-on, you know, weekly stuff, and it lasts a while. Pog started as a commission job, for example. And we've been doing it for so long, I'm not even sure I get paid for it anymore. Alright, so they're letting the infantry go to the first group.
Yeah, I need it.
So around 200, yeah. Oh, boy. Evac birds are still on their way. GL is shelling the remaining dudes here. Gives them something to shoot at the end.
Here, they'll be good.
He's got his
I don't think you gotta cut down that tree.
Izar out. Pog used to be Paw, yes. But I've been working with them for over 2 years. I think that was a misping. $240 go burr. Yeah, that went very far back. Gonna be honest, my ears are starting to ring a little bit. Oh no. Yeah. The Apache showed up. You say something? Oh yeah, no, I started all this in my freshman year of college, and that was 2016. It's been coming on 7 years soon, to be honest. Do I do this full time? Yes. And then Bloodway and I just split the house and costs 50-50. The Power Lines SCP op you did? Yeah, the twin script from Alias. He's a cool guy. Had the pleasure of being in the same room with him recently. Alright, so I think they're prepping for their exfil over here. They have the birds on standby because they're just trying to clean up these remaining dudes at this point. They're shell-shocked at the moment, but I'm just going to have them break off and get away. Airstrike just hit one of them. But we're wrapping things up right here. That's another one. By now, death summers.
Okay, Raj, I'll go when I'll call the rest of the element when you're satisfied. Over.
The Apex Fight the Government stuff you did a while back. I think we did 2 or 3 of those campaigns, and the last one was, I want to say, a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Trump Wall was what put me on the map on YouTube, but
1216 moved to PC.
Yeah, that was certainly something.
330 upslot.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, they're getting their extractions in. Yeah, maybe shooting in the air wasn't the smartest thing for this guy to do, but you know, he was frustrated, he was angry, he was tired. Shoot 7.62 by 51 in the air in 20mm. What's the Apache's gun again? 20, 25, or 30? I always get them confused. It's an autocannon. That's what I say. It's a 30, yeah.
It should be it. Then there was home.
It happens.
Set.
So they're lining up now to call the bird in to pick them up.
Donnie from the Thorn
Wow,
Berries.
3 minutes to midnight. 3 minutes till my curfew kicks in.
Yo, what a reference.
Someone is playing that character from the Thornberries. Good God. Jesus. Yeah, they were hitting up here. Someone, I guess, woke back up and, they were deemed a threat. Good old Donnie, that's his name, yep.
À 75 mètres, juste devant.
I just ran by a civilian, not likely to be hostile or not.
Just probably yelled at you to get out of his damn village. It's funny though, I'm using the African civilians, which are actually speaking French instead of Farsi, but I guess to the Americans here it would be Greek all to them anyway. Alright. Overall good op. Mission 3 is going to focus its AO in this valley area. It's going to be a show of force patrol. I'm going to have a few hard positions in there for them to clear as well. It's probably just going to focus on these two areas here, and I'll put some stuff in between. And then Mission 4 is going to focus up here and be a massive pullout. There might be some humanitarian stuff done. I also might do a 5th mission in this area as well, depending on how things go. But otherwise, it's just going to be mainly a patrol in that village or town up there. And then, again, as I said earlier, next mission will probably be either, again, another phase in here or a Benghazi what-if scenario, and then I gotta come up with something new. Hawkeye, if you just had a bunch of dudes come in, sweep building to building, kill all the armed dudes, I think the last thing in that guy's head would be to find a gun, pick it up, and shoot at people. After everyone that just had a gun died. This isn't your standard Liru op where I would pull something like that. This one is the hyper-realism AO, so... Talk to Karma and see if you can RD us if we take too long on an ambush or something. Make it spicy. Raichen, how about you talk to Karma and ask him that? I'm not gonna ask him for shit. That's clearly something you want, broski. Why don't you ask him? Because I'm just the Zeus. I'm not the host. The host decides what is what. The host is the customer, the client. I am the humble Zeus that just makes it happen. You know what? Good idea. Yeah. Guys, in any group...
Oh no, no, no. Dead time. No
Hello, your
resolution.
Uber is here.
Did it crash?
Hell, 1-3, send a squad out there.
What?
Oh, pilot's down.
Continue with the second bird.
You know... This might get me in trouble. We're hella over time. If I had the time, I would send QRF in, but I need this to get wrapped up at this point. If I had the time, I would send QRF in, but guys, it's midnight. I need to start being quiet because of my curfew, but... Okay, Muskul. Because you said it. Okay. Muskul, you're my fall guy if Karma gets mad at me. Because you're in these ops too. Alright, we can blame everything on you. Alright, good.
Warlord Romeo message.
Send message over.
Warlord requesting one-time CH-47 at main airstrip for uniform change.
A from standby. What? Why are you? Did you chuckleheads figure it out? What are you doing? Why are you deciding to bully? Mooskle, buddy, my job's on the line, but now I can blame you for it, so I'm clear now. You're forgetting, you're talking to one of the de facto most sadistic Zeuses here. I just have to hide it over this facade of, you know, it's for the player base. Mooskle doesn't like God. He's in here somewhere. Where are you? I've seen you in the mission. Yeah, there he is. Which, by the way, before my moderators get mad, COG people are allowed to be in here. Because it's slow going. So, he's in the chopper. So, you know. He's in the op, alright? I see this as a, so who crashed the heli? I don't know, but I guess he came in too low and he hit something. But look, I see this as me directly providing for my players. You know, he's in the op right now. He asked for something. I'm gonna give it to him. It's gonna be great. You know? Because I can just go to Karma and say, oh, yeah, it's what they asked for, you know? I'm covered. I'm covered. Hey, can one of my moderators scroll up in the chat and, like, take a screenshot of him saying that, so just in case Karma does get on my butt, add the timestamp too, you know, just to make sure, you know, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, as you say, you're the dude flying out of the AO right now, right? Yeah, you're leaving. You don't have to deal with that. You little shit. They have to deal with... Oh, I'm being loud. Shit. Okay. Fuck, my curfew. All right. Okay. Loud me's over. Loud me's over. God damn it. You're gonna get me in trouble now. Damn.
Oh, my hip. Oh. Okay, who's got the vape? I crushed my hip.
Medic, I'm stitching you.
If you think I'm sharing, you're wrong.
Alright, start fighting the shells when we get back, boys.
For me, it's more of a dagger, but, you know.
Hey, you know, technically a falchion is a dagger, if you know what that is.
Thanks, Don.
Oh,
You're nice when you want to be. Thank you, Valkyrie, as well. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
We got Mooskle dead to rights. It's all good.
I give the Leaning Tower of Pisa a run for its money.
Yeah, they will eventually airstrike the Chinook and take it out, but I got, we're good. I'm gonna say one of the civilians was watching and he saw the Chinook go down. Here. No, I got it. We're covered. There's an in-op reason. Mooskle had us. Okay, wait. Do we not have a cell phone in here? There it is. Perfect. See? He had a cell phone. He called his insurgent buddies.
Reach 53 is trying to lose some altitude, but they're in the vicinity of RP John at this time. So
Why didn't you call earlier? Because the chopper went down. Wow, you...
Try and get this as vertical as I can.
Yeah, we're not seeing it.
Acknowledge and Ridge 53, you're clear to make your approach. Break, Islet is up. If you do not have contact or visual of friendly Islets, let me know and I will get something else up.
They're called islets, by the way.
Give
This
a-
little
give a
secondary
higher.
flashlight.
Over there.
No.
Boy, you seeing things, dog.
Yeah, you're
I swear I saw it for a second.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't see that?
We forgot about their drone. They cleared out all the trees around. We'll see that total guy. Oh god, that's not. I'm not planning to make any like that, but if they happen, they happen. I told you to run. That's not running the right direction, Chris. You know, that guy's the reason why they tell you that you have to keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Romeo, this is Warlord on 3-3, message over. Romeo, this is Warlord on frequency 3-3, message over.
Warlord, go for Romeo.
Roger, interrogative, at what point do you want me to index the server, or are we doing debrief in server? Over.
Warlord, debrief in server, index following debrief.
Roger, Wilco out.
Just put it up as close as we can.
Alright, where is he?
I don't want to talk to you, man.
You don't? You don't want to go on my stream? You don't want to tell everyone you went on my stream and told me to send 2 squads of QRF to the other guys in the AO? You don't? Okay. Never happened?
Never happened, dude.
I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it.
I saw that there's an informant in the AO called Liru.
Yeah, that also has your name too, because I made it legit. He had a cell phone. He was one of the civvies.
If you go and look at that informant right now, that's
Uh-huh.
not me, dog.
I see.
That's not me.
Okay.
It ain't me. It wasn't me.
Everything was.
It was.
So if we just He renamed it. The little fucker has Zeus access, and he renamed the AI.
Yeah.
I see you have Zeus access too, buddy.
Of course I do, sir.
You put it all in. You put my name all in caps too on that
Yeah, all
guy.
in caps,
I
dude.
see. Okay. I see.
Yeah, a few of those calls you called Type 3, and I completely forgot.
Next
you called
Liru
Type
up.
3.
Liru
I was
is
like, I
really
forgot
gonna
the
bring the pain for Musco.
Commence an engagement.
I just hope you all had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Though.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
This is a good
I
one.
was really tired.
Oh my god.
Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we?
But yeah, we're gonna be doing these weekly now. So.
Weekly.
Yeah, Karma's moved me to weekly starting today. So.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
How much
Now,
you
the
paying?
real thing is kill cog.
You get paid?
Yeah. Shit, that's what I was asking you.
Normally I would get paid for this, but he's a big YouTuber, bigger than me, so it's just good publicity. Plus, you guys give me one of the two sides of the spectrum for how people play, and I kind of like it, so.
I gotta get on a Warhammer.
I am on the
40K
spectrum,
up,
thank
dude.
So that's the other side of the spectrum I do, because those guys are super fast-paced, murder things so quickly that I can't even spawn them in fast enough. But in terms of kill cog, next time you guys are doing it, I'm going to be spectating. At least that's what Karma says, so I'll be trying to cheer you on.
I think it's somewhere around. Let me check my
Wait,
calendar.
Liru, why don't you just go on the ground with us?
Short answer, I'm a pussy. Long answer, first large-scale PvP op I did left a really bad taste in my mouth that's kind of permanently scarred me from PvP on the ground, unfortunately. So I'm... that was CCO, yep. I can't hear you over the chopper. Huh? Oh, okay. It wasn't... The scenario was fine. It was because they gave me a bunch of false intel and then said, well, why did you believe it? And it's like, because you didn't tell me at any point the intel could be false, but then having to deal with Remy at the end.
Yeah.
And then me finding proof of him actually having people stream sniping me and then going, I don't know why you're on a high horse trying to tell me how to do my job when you were being fed intel, but okay, cool. Whatever.
You should have known there was trouble from the start when Remy was involved.
Yeah. I should have.
Yeah, hell of an Liru.
Yeah, righto.
First things first. 7, you came back and you got you.
Shadow,
have
shoot me a message on Discord. I'll shoot you a
got
link.
back safe.
He's in custody right now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Tonight we had 1 KIA. Did we have any other fractures or any serious wounds?
There was one fracture, but I fixed it.
Okay, awesome.
I wanna bring something up. Smitty faced through a rock. I healed him. What's the criterion? And I heal him because I know it's.
That's fine. If you need to just heal because you got armor, then just go through. You can go through Romeo.
Yeah. I mean, I just did it myself, but yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Everyone,
Hey,
big
Plat,
thanks
thanks
to
for everybody.
Liru for hanging around for 3 hours and Zeus in the shop and making it stop.
And I want to give you all a thank you for playing it. Hope you had fun. If you have any feedback, feel free to give it to me over Discord. I have an open door policy. Always love to hear from you guys. So.
No, it was awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother.
All right. All right. So let's keep it real short. Infill went good. Fries went good. Whereas we're out as soon as the last guys were out. So whatever SOP changes for flight, that worked perfectly. As expected, Op 4 sent patrols towards the suspected HLZ. It's gonna happen, especially when we don't do false infills. We didn't do a false infill for this. So we just infilled and we started pushing guys into the northwest. We tried to avoid hitting contact for as long as possible. It became impossible once they ended up getting within 100. We opened up, but we had already formed the ORP and we had 360 security established. So good job. I think that's the first time we've ever taken contact at the ORP, and that 360 security really worked out for us. During that firefight, we kicked 1-3 out to hold some form of high ground as the firefight developed, just to ensure that we can not stay static in one spot and we have 2 supporting positions. As soon as they established there, we then released 1-2 to join them, and we rolled into hasty battle positions. We were not able to execute the Liru's recon because of this contact, so we had 1-4 push across the road and then have to come back because that position was less than satisfactory. Otherwise, all elements established as planned, and we engaged multiple vehicles inbound to the
me and told me to shut up.
Inbound to the intersection. I'm very happy with how we worked with what we had to work with there. Are there any problems at the platoon level for this first execution on the DP/ambush area?
Well, just one comment on the info. We didn't get a ropes or a go call on the first bird on 5-1.
5-1. Okay. So we'll just work on that. Just whenever the ropes are good or when the guys are good to get out. I think it was 1-8 alpha in that bird. Make sure we call go go go. Okay. Moving on. We then got the call from higher that friendly elements to the west were not able to get their second target, and that their second target pushed from Diamond to POI2. So we then began with the leader shuttle, moved out in formation, squad column fired, our team wedge, guns attached towards the new RP, maneuvered good. I have to say, hats off to you guys tonight. I don't think anyone got lost. So I know massive evolution since we first started working without CTAP. You guys were navigating in zero loom. If you guys take off your nods or have not taken off your nods tonight, it is literally pitch black, zero loom, and no tools to keep track of each other. So very happy with that. Just a reminder, if you need to slow down because the veg gets too thick or you can't see anyone, go ahead and make that call or do so. Otherwise, we made it to that second ORP. ORP was established proper, and then we hit that Liru's recon. We were going to raid this, but it was way too hot with the amount of targets there, so we switched into a platoon attack. Liru, real fast, did we kill any civvies?
I think one was killed, but
One was killed. Okay.
No, we didn't.
Okay, cool. Phase lines got established. Hasty phase lines. It was going to be messy no matter what, just because of how hasty this was. But all guns were called to shift at the proper times. We developed a plan to work with this weird geo. 1-2. I probably should have had you pushed in a little bit sooner, just because with the amount of these buildings from Bravo to Charlie, could have probably opened up 3 assault lanes here from the get-go. But otherwise, clearance on this was all good. We had proper shift and lift fire calls. One thing that happened multiple times tonight, guys, gun line especially, making sure we're online. Yeah. You don't want to be too far back, too far ahead, just because guys are looking where guys are sitting and are moving in accordance with that. If the gun line is so far out of line, one guy might let me draw it out for you real fast. White circles, right? Let's say this is the gun line, and gun line is so far out of whack. When guys are moving, whether it's line or HQ or whatever, when they see this, they mainly are looking at these front 2 guys, right? And they're thinking, okay, so long as I run behind these guys, I'm all right because the gun should be online. Now, yes, everyone should be aware and looking around, but if a third gun is firing from deep, it's gonna cause some issues, right? So just trying to be online as much as humanly possible, just because, especially with movement, it gets really weird really fast. Guys should be looking when they're moving anyways, but just try to do that as much as possible. Otherwise, clearance, how did that go, assaults?
Piece of cake.
Good. Piece of cake, all good? Okay. Clearance all the way through, sent 1-2 in. We had Northside security with Snot and that fire team element for a little bit. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. Air did a lot of the heavy lifting tonight, as usual. And then we collapsed for PZ and for exfil. I know we had that little kerfuffle with the exfil bird going down. It seems to be a theme. But 5-3 came in and picked everyone else up. Otherwise, this was pretty good. I really don't have anything at this point in time to nitpick. On the macro scale, I think you guys should be happy.
Yeah,
with
3 ops
doing
ago,
things,
they crash landed chopper.
with how adaptive we were able to do things and how even though we had certain things happen, whether it's contact at the ORP or follow on raid, we're still able to execute safely and efficiently. So good stuff tonight, guys. I really don't have anything to nitpick. It was a good op. I'm sure when I watch CTAB, I'll have a text AAR going out later, but don't want to hold you guys any longer. I know we're going pretty late here, so I do want to say thank you and appreciate you guys for coming out. Otherwise, squad leads, I'll let you guys handle your AAR. Unless there's anything else at the platoon level.
Karm, I'm not sure if you saw the message, but there was one civvy that died that I witnessed.
Okay, one civvy. Gotcha. Okay. Well, do you know what it was? Was it just 240s or was it?
They fragged the building.
They fragged the building.
On a breach.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So just a reminder, guys, when we're working with civvies, gotta be bangers. Okay, gotta be bangers.
I saw it on.
If we kill that civvy, you're gonna play as a civvy for a week
Probably a
on the.
Marine.
Yeah. All right, squad leads, go ahead, grab your guys. Appreciate you guys coming out.
All right.
I guess,
Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back in an hour for Dark Tide. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day. And night. Cheers.
How'd it go for you guys? Just on
Fine.
yeah. Shoot a lot.
Yeah.